If you're learning English, then you're part of the English dream. That means you want to be advanced with your English when you speak. And that requires having good C1 or C2 English ability. But it also means you need to be absolutely fluent with the lower levels. That's B1 or B2, the intermediate, upper intermediate English levels. And sometimes people don't reach a completely advanced level or proficient level because they still have some small errors in their speech at a B1 or B2 level. So that's what this video is about. We're going to discover if you have some of these errors in your speaking when you speak with B1 or B2 structures, such as with prepositions of place, like in, at, or on. When you read them, you recognize them. But when you try and speak, sometimes the wrong one comes out. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to see a sentence with a gap where the preposition should be. Say the sentence out loud, including either in, at, or on in the gap. If you can't say it out loud, say it in your head, wherever you are, if you're travelling by plane or train at the moment. You'll have about 5 seconds to say it. Then I will give you the correct answer. Here's number 1. I've wrapped your present in a box. So in is for contained spaces. Number 2. We always spend the holidays at home. At is for fixed locations. 3. He was sunbathing on the beach. On because the chair is touching the beach. It's touching the surface. We could also have used at here though, and that would mean that you're just in the general area of the beach. 4. I'll meet you at the station. And again, at here means in the general area, but not necessarily inside the station. 5. I'll meet you in the station. We say in here because the person is inside the boundaries of the place. But you could also have said at because although they're inside the boundaries, they're also in the general area of the station. So in or at would both be correct here. 6. We spend most of our time at work. We use at before places that have a purpose. I'm at home, I'm at work, I'm at church, I'm at school. 7. I live on the west coast, she lives in the south. On is for compass directions like north, west, east and south if a place comes afterwards. If there's no place afterwards, just say in. 8. The explorers went on a long walk. On because you're travelling somewhere that is away from our normal location. I'm going on holiday. I'm going on a long walk. I'm going on a trip. So how did you do with those? If you didn't get them all right, the answer really is practice, practice, practice. You know the rules. You simply need to use them better, and practice will help you do that. So repeat the 8 sentences again. You could rewind the video now and do that. And keep doing it until you get them right without thinking, and then you'll be using them fluently. Here's another area of grammar that is not considered the highest level of grammar, apart from with certain uses, but you need to get right fluently to be considered an advanced speaker. And that is using articles. That's a, an, the, or zero article means not using an article at all. Here's number 1. I went to a party last week. We use a or a when it's one of many nouns. and it's not been mentioned before. 2. I stayed there for an hour. Use an, that's A and N, when the next sound is a vowel. It's normally represented by the letter A, E, I, O and U, but here the H is silent, so we use un before hour. 3. I went to a party. The party was huge. Use the when you repeat the noun. 4. I went to a party. It was a huge party. This is an exception to the rule in number 3. We can use a when we repeat nouns in the structure it followed by the verb to be, here represented by was in the past simple, and then the noun. 5. Now here we've used no article at all. We use zero article with unspecified plural nouns. We also have to mention that this is when we talk about them for the first time. So this is the first time guests would have been used in the story. If there was another sentence before talking about the guests, then because it's the second mention, we would have said the guests. But because we don't know that here we assume it's unspecified. It's the first time it's mentioned, so use zero article. 6. Guests arrived between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. The guests all came from the same school. And this is the rule that I explained in number 5. Here, guests is repeated, so we use the in front of it. 7. My best friend introduced me to the host. Here we use host because following it is a noun where there is only one of it. There's only one host of a party. You could possibly have said one of the hosts if there was more than one. But in general, with nouns where there's only one of them, the sun around the earth, the moon around the earth, if we assume there's only one and we're referring to a noun where we all understand we're referring to one unique noun, then we use the in front of it. So if there's only one host in the party, we use the. And there's usually only one host in a party, so it's natural to use the here. 8. A band played music in the background. The band played classical music. So a is used in the first sentence because it's a collection of nouns that make one group, a band. A band consists of many people, but they come together and make one unified noun. And it's one noun of many, so we use a. But when we repeat it, they've now become specified. We know which band we're referring to. In other words, the one we mentioned before. So here we use the. Keep trying until you get them all correct first time. The aim of fluency is that you speak immediately with the right grammar. And if you want to take this much, much further, I've got 600 videos covering 40 hours of teaching on my course, Perfect English Grammar, covering everything from A1 to C2 levels. You can start it today immediately because it's an on-demand course. All you have to do is click on the link in the description. So if you are a beginner or intermediate learner of English, there's lots and lots of grammar here for you to learn. If you're more advanced, there's still grammar for you to learn, but there's lots of opportunities for you to practice the lower level grammar, like the grammar we're covering in this video. I have conversations, role plays, and you can even speak to an AI chatbot that I have programmed to speak with the grammar that you need and programmed to ask you questions that will ensure that you use the grammar that you need for the particular grammar point. So click on the link in the video description to get this course. You can start right away. Let's go to one more grammar area that is sometimes a struggle to speak fluently with, and that's with uncountable nouns. For the 8 examples here, there will be a sentence with a gap and then a word afterwards. Now, the word is sometimes countable and sometimes uncountable. And remember, we use much with uncountable nouns and many with countable nouns. You need to work out if the noun is countable or uncountable. If it is countable, use many, but you might have to add an S at the end. If it's uncountable, then use much. Here's the first example. Take 5 seconds now. Say it as you see it. Fill in the gap as you speak. We haven't made much progress because progress is uncountable. 2. The researcher has written many papers on microbiology. Paper can be countable or uncountable. Here it's countable because papers really means articles or journal publications. 3. Is there much evidence about the crime? 4. Have you gathered much information? Remember, information is uncountable in English. 5. There are many rooms in this house. Here, rooms refers to the individual areas of a house. 6. There isn't much room in here. Room has a different meaning here, and this time it's uncountable. This means space. 7. We haven't much time. Let's run. And here time refers to seconds or minutes or hours. 8. You're fired. You've been late too many times. And here times means number of occurrences. So how did you do? Remember, to speak proficient English, you need to produce examples of English like these correctly and fluently, at least 90% of the time. And to help you improve your English with every area of grammar, don't forget my Perfect English Grammar course, which you can join today by clicking the link in the video description below me now.